This week on Christian World News, thousands fled this Christian town when ISIS came storming in. Now, after 2 years of occupation, it's being liberated. See what it looks like today. Plus, an unthinkable decision: pay a ransom to ISIS or never see your family members again. See why these Christians decided to pay, and meet the bishop who stirred the global church to action. And the wars in Syria and northern Iraq are one of the biggest humanitarian crises of our day. We'll visit one of the thousands of children forced to flee and find a new life in a foreign country. Welcome to this edition of Christian World News, everyone. I'm Wendy Griffith. My colleague George Thomas is on assignment. On August 6 of 2014, nearly 60,000 people fled the Christian town of Qaraqosh in northern Iraq. That's because just hours before ISIS was going to overrun the area. Well, a few weeks ago, the Kurdish military liberated the town. Chris Mitchell takes us back to Qaraqosh to see the trail of destruction left by ISIS.
CBN News joined Sister Diana, a Dominican nun, and her team to show us what ISIS did to their city. We first visited her home church, the Immaculate Conception Cathedral.
This is considered the largest church for us in the Middle East. We do all our worship in here. I would say my parents got married here. We have our first communion here. And we used to worship every single day during our feast days, Christmas, Easter.
From the ceiling to the floor to the altar, ISIS left its mark.
What we were told is they gathered so many of these benches, they put it inside in the middle here and burned them. So the church was burning for days. They have took the host and throw it on the ground. So they are against every Christian symbol, against everything, actually. You know, whatever you see there's a cross, they took it down. If you see here, we have the altar. There were crosses in there. So whatever you see the damage, they try to do as much as they have in their power to say, you Christians, stop, live here. This is not your land. I mean, it makes me speechless.
In the remains, Sister Diana found charred pages from a New Testament.
The letter to John, chapter 4 and 5, because he's the one who came to save us with water and blood. It says, do not follow evil, but follow everyone who does goodness, because he's from God. Whoever done evil would not see God.
This is the courtyard of the Immaculate Conception Church. When ISIS was here, they used it as a training ground. For example, you can see the courtyard littered with bullets. At the far end, they used it for target practice. Over here is the convent, and they brought thousands of books out of the convent, brought them here into the center of the courtyard, and they burned them. All that's left is this pile of ashes.
This is what we honor, and it has turned into ashes. Those are our books.
ISIS used the church courtyard to train killers.
You see this, they were training the target practice. All this, it was the target practice, if you can see, especially this area. And pray. Imagine how many people they have trained to kill.
On the street, we witnessed devastation, some of it caused by coalition airstrikes targeting ISIS.
What you see here, those were houses. The matter of fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses, and that has been destroyed. Behind have been destroyed. Those houses belongs to families who worked so hard.
This family lost their home, money, and 3-year-old daughter, who ISIS stole from her mother's lap.
We lost everything. Their house has been put down. She lost her daughter. I mean, she said, what? Everything we own, we lost it. These roads used to be so busy, people very active. You know, These are all markets. Yeah. And, you see, It's empty.
Throughout the town, ISIS left behind writing on the wall. ISIS left graffiti all over Qaraqosh. This one says that ISIS will crush or squish all the unbelievers. And this one says that the Islamic State will expand with Allah's permission. This wall said, "We destroyed your crosses. We beheaded you, you infidels." Throughout the city, ISIS destroyed or burned Christian houses of worship. They especially damaged or destroyed crosses. They even pillaged Christian graves. ISIS not only destroyed the homes of the living, they also desecrated the final resting place of the dead. Here, they destroyed some of these memorial plaques and even opened the graves so they could loot any valuables they could find off the corpses. Sister Diana says the devastation would be overwhelming without faith in God.
They destroyed everything dear to us, but we tell them they could not destroy our will, our faith, our strength. They could destroy material things, but what it lives is the eternal things.
Sister Diana prays the townspeople will return, but says they need assurance.
Number one is the security. If I don't feel secure, I won't be able to stay here. If a father, a mother won't feel secure, they won't send their children to school.
After we liberate Qaraqosh, we hold the ground.
The town now sits under the control of a Christian-based militia. But Mafuk Sata says they need more help.
People, they need to come back, but they need to feel safe. They need force on the ground. They need, international protection. And that will be good, like a guarantee. That will never happen again.
It's really scary to think that if something really big doesn't happen, ISIS could be successful in trying to destroy this community. It isn't without hope, but people need help here.
People, if they want to rebuild and return to their homes, they're gonna need help. They are broke already, they are homeless already. They are living in a place, it's not their homeland. This is our homeland.
Sister Diana fears too many Christian families may be discouraged and leave the area. She believes the Christians of northern Iraq are its salt and light.
That's what the gospel says, and that's what we try to be. We carry the message of our Lord Jesus Christ, and we are going to be faithful to Him. No matter what they do, they can't defeat God. And the glory of this church and this town is coming back. Sooner or later, God has promised us for a better life. And you know what? We're gonna look for that promise.
In the meantime, Sister Diana asks for prayer that their faith will remain strong as residents of Qaraqosh trickle back to see their homes, their church, and to worship. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Qaraqosh, northern Iraq.
Amazing faith there. Well, coming up, ISIS came and stole their family members away. See the unbelievable challenges these Christians overcame to rescue their relatives.
Inside every child is a hero, a leader, a friend to others, someone who helps out, who does the right thing, who dreams of what they can be, but they still need our help.
What should I do? What should I say? How should I feel?
That's where Superbook comes in. It provides moral and spiritual truths through situations children can relate to, teaching God's Word to the children you love. Join the Superbook DVD Club and receive Superbook's newest episodes as they're available, plus 2 copies to share with others, all for your gift of only $25. Get Superbook today and watch the miracles happen.
Hello, I'm Terry Newsom. Did you know there are more than 148 million orphans in the world today? 148 million. But it was 3 little girls that taught me about the plight of orphans. 8 years ago, my husband and I spent nearly a month immersed in the daily activities of a Ukrainian orphanage as we waited to adopt 3 sisters. I saw firsthand the utter loneliness, the pain of rejection, and the overwhelming desire to be loved. That experience changed me forever. And out of it grew a ministry from my heart called Orphans Promise. Today, we're helping orphans and vulnerable children in more than 50 countries worldwide. Thousands of children are now in safe homes. They're being educated, and they're learning life skills. I'm asking you to join with me and become family to these children. Will you call the number on your screen right now? Because every child deserves a chance to be happy.
Imagine your loved ones kidnapped by a brutal terrorist group. Now you have to make a choice, pay a ransom to the terrorists or leave your family members at their mercy. A community of Syrian Christians faced that terrible choice last year. Our Gary Lane has their story.
In February 2015, Islamic State jihadists seized control of several villages around Tal Tamr in Syria's Khabur Valley. In the process, they kidnapped 226 Christians. Abdo Marza was among those abducted.
They
came to the village in military vehicles like an army you could not resist. They came knocking on each door. They took us out and put us all in one house. Then they took us one by one to each house to search it. They destroyed all the crosses and the pictures of the Virgin Mary.
Late last year in Lebanon, reporter Abigail Robertson and I met with several of the distraught family members as they discussed efforts to secure the release of their loved ones. At that time, they did not want their comments to appear in a story because they feared their kidnapped family members would be killed. We've covered the adult faces now to protect their identities. Their faith remained firm, and they prayed God would release their family members from the clutches of ISIS. California-based filmmaker Sargon Saadi visited his homeland to document the efforts of families like these and Christians around the world to buy back the kidnapped Assyrians. Ransoms were paid to ISIS in violation of international law.
We don't regret breaking this law, especially when the governments are not doing anything about it. They're just putting guidelines on us. It's like, well, how about the lives of these people?
Saadi visited some of the villages raided by ISIS. They were abandoned like ghost towns. After news got out about the beheading of 21 Coptic Egyptians in Libya, Christians feared ISIS would do the same to the 226 abducted Assyrians. In September 2015, ISIS released a video showing 3 Christian men in orange jumpsuits shot by their captors.
It was unbelievable to watch. It was unbelievable to conceive that our own Assyrians on camera being executed in such a barbaric way in 2015. And it was unbelievable. And at that point, everybody, we're going to get them out in any way, shape, or form. We don't care about laws or rules that other people say about us. We can't fight them. Assyrians don't have an army to go and rescue them.
Church leaders established a bank account for receiving ransom payment donations. The cost of buying back each Christian was reported to be $50,000. Ransoms were paid, and little by little, by Easter 2016, all of the remaining kidnapped Christians were freed.
And the big philosophical question is are we supposed to pay ransom for hostages? Is that going to encourage them to do even more of these horrible acts? Is it a good thing in the long run? Probably not. It's probably not a good thing. But when you're in that situation, at that time, you don't have much time to think about the ethical and the moral risks that brings. You just do it.
Taking action the only way they could to save the lives of their suffering loved ones. Gary Lane, CBN News.
Thanks, Gary. Coming up, the Syrian civil war has sent thousands fleeing their homes to save their lives. See what it's like to be a Syrian refugee in a foreign land through the eyes of a little boy.
In the beginning was the Word.
From CBN, The Gospel of John. Read by Pat Robertson.
For God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son.
Let the spoken word of God transform your mind and increase your faith. Receive the power of God's life-giving word. The Gospel of John. Read by Pat Robertson. Available now.
Hello, I'm Terry Newsom. Did you know there are more than 148 million orphans in the world today? 148 million. But it was 3 little girls that taught me about the plight of orphans. 8 years ago, my husband and I spent nearly a month immersed in the daily activities of a Ukrainian orphanage as we waited to adopt 3 sisters. I saw firsthand the utter loneliness, the pain of rejection, and the overwhelming desire to be loved. That experience changed me forever. And out of it grew a ministry from my heart called Orphans Promise. Today, we're helping orphans and vulnerable children in more than 50 countries worldwide. Thousands of children are now in safe homes. They're being educated, and they're learning life skills. I'm asking you to join with me and become family to these children. Will you call the number on your screen right now? Because every child deserves a chance to be happy.
When you give, smiles grow bigger. When you care, homes are happier. When you comfort, the hurt goes away. When we all come together to love, miracles happen.
Welcome back to Christian World News. The Syrian civil war has displaced millions of people from their homes. Many of those refugees fled to the neighboring country of Lebanon. Some, with the help of CBN, are finding help to build a new life. Take a look.
When the Syrian civil war came to the city of Homs, thousands were forced to run for their lives. Naji and his family fled to a refugee camp in southern Lebanon.
There were so many planes and bombs. I thought we would die. We came here thinking life would be better, but it's been very difficult.
When I went to the camp, Naji's aunt told me about how his father died of a chronic heart condition soon after making it to Lebanon. Later, his mother abandoned him and his siblings.
Naji has really suffered. He's been very angry and sad. We put him in a Lebanese public school, but the teachers yelled at him. They hit him and the other refugee children, so he didn't want to go back.
When Heart for Lebanon, which is supported by CBN, went to Naji's camp, we invited him to come to the Hope Center. Here, he's learning English, Arabic, and math.
I feel really happy going to school now. The teachers treat me nice, and I've made a lot of friends. It is like I have a big family.
We show Superbook in Arabic at the school so the kids can have some fun while learning about Jesus Christ.
I love Jesus because he came down from heaven and forgave my sins. Every time I want to do a bad thing, Jesus comes into my mind and tells me not to do it. He's always with me.
Since Naji started going to the Hope Center, he has gotten so much happier and he behaves himself. I'm so happy he has a safe place to go to school now.
Naji's aunt told us about how she and the other refugees all had to walk to the other side of their camp to collect water. So we installed a system that delivers fresh water directly to their tents. We also give food to Naji's family and thousands of other refugees. They all get rice, beans, canned meat, cleansers, and other household supplies. Every month, it's enough to keep a family of 6 going.
We really love Heart for Lebanon and CBN. You have done so much for us. We have enough food to feed our family and clean water to drink. Thank you so very much.
We even had a special surprise for Naji, a brand new bike.
I thought I was dreaming. I couldn't believe I would ever have a bicycle. It is so beautiful. I want to thank you for your kind hearts. Everything I have is from Heart for Lebanon and CBN. I love you so much.
Well, CBN is not the only ministry helping refugees in Lebanon. Several Christian organizations are there trying to ease the suffering. And joining me now is Kristen Wright. She's the Advocacy Director for Open Doors USA, and that's a ministry to the persecuted church. And Kristen, you are just back from Amman, Jordan, and you spent time with the refugees there on the ground. You know, winter's coming very close. In fact, it's already here in many parts of our country. How big is the crisis? You saw it firsthand.
Yeah. The crisis is massive, all throughout surrounding countries and within Syria as well. So when I was in Jordan, I met with a number of Syrian refugees who are actually, they've pitched tents in the middle of the desert because they can't afford living in an urban area, and the camps are full, many of them.
Is it cold there already?
It's starting to get cold in the evenings. I was in one of those sort of makeshift camps one night, and it was already getting cold. Yeah. And I was told by one of our partners on the ground that they last year brought out heaters. Open Doors provided heaters and blankets for the families, and they'll do the same this year. However, these families are living in just truly makeshift tents.
I mean, how do they eat? I mean, are they making fires? Are they building like wood fires?
They're living in a very rural setting, almost out in the desert, and so they're building fires. One of the families that I met with actually showed such great hospitality. They are such a warm Syrian refugee family. They had only 2 cups, and so they actually, we all shared coffee out of those 2 cups and passed it along for those of us who were visiting them. So it was really a blessing to meet with these people who've been through so much.
Well, Kristen, I know you met and spent time with Iraqi Christian refugees, and you said there are tens of thousands of refugees that have come, not just from Syria. There's thousands, but there's also from Iraq that have fled ISIS. Yes. How are they coping, and will they have a place to go home?
Yes, well, right now is a very difficult time, I think. Many of the women Iraqi refugees that I met with, they're Christians. They fled towns like Qaraqosh. I met several from there, and they were showing me pictures that they had on their cell phones of their homes, their destroyed homes. Many of them had seen their homes on the news when forces were coming in to retake the city. And so it's a time of, intensity right now. A lot of these families they're living in a completely, they're living in limbo. They're not sure, will they be able to go back? Will they feel secure enough to go back? And so some of the work of Open Doors on the ground in places like Jordan with these Iraqi refugees is about helping to restore hope and helping to restore dignity.
Right. Well, what can Christians around the world do to help these refugees?
Well, something I'd like to share about this is one takeaway from my trip, was just this sense that when you're a refugee, so much has been taken from you. You have lost your home, you have lost food, and in many cases, it is a tragic loss of dignity. And that's something that Open Doors is really trying to help Christians regain that sense of dignity. And you may wonder, okay, how can we do that? Well, trauma counseling is one part of that holistic addressing of the needs of refugees. It goes beyond just helping to provide food and shelter. We're doing that, but also that trauma counseling, spiritual support. And then one aspect of that for the children refugees is through art therapy and other unique ways for kids to be able to express what they've been through and what they've experienced in a safe space and start to work through those issues.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Well, we're glad that you're back safe. Kristen Wright, Advocacy Director with Open Doors USA. And thanks so much for sharing your firsthand account with us. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hello, this is Pat Robertson. I've just finished recording one of the most beloved books in all the Bible, the Gospel according to John. I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live even though they die. My hope is that you will use this recording to allow the Word of God to abide in you. If you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish and it will be done for you. Listen to it again and again and speak the words along with me. Let these great passages fill your heart as the Word of God transforms your mind and builds your faith.
Receive the power of God's life-giving Word, the Gospel of John, read by Pat Robertson, available now.
May God richly bless you as you meditate on Jesus.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life, life to the fullest. Life in your family, life in your finances, life in your body, mind, and spirit, life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com.
Kids. We want them to grow up knowing God's Word. But in today's busy world, sometimes we could use some help. The free Superbook Kids Bible app has fun stuff your kids will love. They'll have a blast learning the Bible, playing great games,
Did you win?
watching cool videos,
Right! Follow me!
discovering heroes in the Bible. They'll have fun while they learn God's Word. The Superbook Kids Bible app, available on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Since ISIS captured a number of Christian villages and towns more than 2 years ago, thousands of Iraqi Christians have been separated from the homes that they love. The military campaign to liberate these areas is now underway, but Christians have launched a spiritual effort to make their way home. Chris Mitchell brings us that story from Erbil in northern Iraq.
They called it the Return Festival, a worship celebration and prayer meeting of Iraqi Christians. They paraded with the names of their villages once captured by ISIS, consecrated them to the Lord, and said, "Wait for us, we're coming back."
The original idea of this event is that to bring Christians together to pray for their land, because their land has been taken by ISIS, and we believe that this land needs to be cleansed.
Representatives from a cross-section of Iraqi churches attended. Vernon Brewer of World Help was chosen to be the only non-Iraqi speaker.
I brought a message of hope to the Christians of Iraq that have been persecuted, that have been targeted by ISIS, that have been driven from their homes. It's a hopeless situation. And I just told them that Jesus Christ is the hope of the world.
Hope was the message of this Catholic teacher and her students.
It is to bring hope through education with the Holy Spirit and with God to bring us the grace and the strength that we need.
Brewer says Christians around the world need to get to know their Iraqi family.
They need to know that the Christians in Iraq are positive, they have faith, they have resilience and strength. They're facing overwhelming persecution. It's a genocide. And we need to stand with them. They're our brothers and sisters in Christ, and they need us standing with them at this time.
Most of the people who came to this prayer event fled ISIS more than 2 years ago from villages like Bartella and Qaraqosh. One of the overwhelming prayer requests today is that they can simply go home in safety.
The main theme of my prayer was peace in general and for my village, so we can go back there.
While many towns have been liberated, it's still too dangerous for these Christians to go back home. Many Christians have already left Iraq, but Barbary says some will never leave the front lines.
We believe that there should be some witnesses for Jesus. Jesus said that he will not leave himself without a witness. So if all Christians will leave here, who will witness for Jesus?
Barbary believes the Lord will redeem their situation.
It reminds me of Isaiah when he says that he will replace ashes with beauty. So the ashes that you saw, burned down churches, burned down home, and some ashes inside us, the Lord promised that he will change it to beauty.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Erbil, northern Iraq.
Thanks so much, Chris. Well, today's show definitely a good reminder that we need to be praying for Christian refugees in the Middle East, especially as winter's closing in. Thanks so much for joining us. From all of us here at Christian World News, goodbye and God bless you.